Hello, and welcome to JR Studios. I'm your host, Jay Voodoo Child, and today I'm kind of starting with a primer video and to talk about my philosophies of Rail Nation and and I want to introduce those to you, the audience, so you kind of have an understanding of where I'm approaching the content that I'm going to be providing on Rail Nation, and to kind of give you some insights on all of that and my thinking and my approach to the game, and so you kind of better understand why I do some of the things that I do and why I suggest those for other players. So let me begin with Rail Nation, as I've said, is a 24/7 competitive resource management game. And it has a lot of mechanical math timers going on, and that side of the game I really particularly enjoy. I enjoy kind of diving down into the mechanics of a game, figuring out a game out, trying to find its weaknesses, where you can gain efficiencies by doing things over other options, and to kind of almost exploit those weaknesses to get improvements in the results of what I'm doing. And another major aspect of the game, and one that I'm very weak at, is the emotional side. And so much of this game is dealing with emotion. It is competitive. You are pitting yourself against other players, and a lot of times that will create conflicts in and of itself. And you'll get emotionally wrapped up into the game, and you'll start making decisions off of those emotions and not necessarily, trying to stick to true logic, what is mathematically favorable. And, someone like me who focuses on math, will run across people that are just purely acting on their emotions. And it's kind of hard for me to interact with them, and it's hard to kind of persuade them to see things the way that I'm doing. And so, and again, that just kind of goes down creating more conflict in the game. And I just kind of want to present all of that to you all, and so you can kind of have a better sense of Rail Nation as you play it. And you can take little bits and pieces of information that perhaps I've given you or other people have given you, and you can integrate those into your game to find what works best for you. And that's all I hope to do with this particular series and this channel, is to kind of present how I approach things, and maybe that will be of use for you. And we all can grow from each other, finding out each other's perspectives and things that you all may know that I have no clue about. And so you can introduce those ideas to me, and hopefully I'm introducing ideas to you as well. So I forgot. Okay, so just to kind of start from scratch, this is a game. It is an entertainment source. It is meant to be fun. If you are not having fun, then do something else, please. um, and that's the thing, that the game is designed to lure you in, and to lure you into spending money, particularly. And you don't necessarily have to do that in order to play the game, in order to have fun in the game. But you kind of have to understand that the best way to avoid an ambush is to know that there's one ahead of you, or to avoid a trap is to know that there is a trap. And so, one of the things I want to present here is to say there are traps to this game. And if you know about those traps, hopefully you can avoid those traps, and therefore you won't get sucked into those holes in those circumstances. So, this is a game. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, find something else. Um, and my major issue with people having fun is as it's not a, is I should start that off differently. I only have problems with people who have fun taking away the fun of other people. There are a lot of circumstances where your actions will take away someone else's fun, and this is a multiplayer game. Those situations cannot be avoided. But there are some people who knowingly go out and say, I'm going to do this just to mess with another player. And I can't abide by those types of people. And they are those in this game. So um, if you have troubles with dealing with those types of people, those types of bullies, if you will, then again, maybe this may not be the best game for you. But with some techniques and whatever, there are ways that I kind of avoid these people. I don't get wrapped up in dealing with them and their point of view. And I'm a good enough player because I know the mechanics so well that I can steer away and not let them impact on my particular fun because, again, my particular fun mostly comes from the mechanics of the game. So there is that aspect going on, but have fun definitely. That's the key. It's a game. You only have limited amount of time in your life. It, you got to spend time for work, school. You need to spend time for family and friends. Your entertainment. That stuff for you. Make it enjoyable because it's life is hard enough as it is without entertainment and those sources of fun. Let this be the fuel for you to kind of get through other circumstances in your life. And that's important. And so, if anything I can do with this channel promotes your fun, particularly in Rail Nation, then that's a success for me. Another aspect that I enjoy about gaming is the social aspects. And one of the things that's very important for Rockin' Lee and I, and something we are definitely going to be paying heavily attention to with the games that we produce, is providing a social outlet and meaningful, easy ways to engage with other players socially. And I get a lot of enjoyment from that. I've developed good friends through Rail Nation in particular and other games, and those are important for me in my life. And I'm better off for those experiences, and I wish to kind of pay it forward, if you will, on trying to provide that for other people. And even this channel right here and right now, hopefully a community will be built off of this channel, and we can have fun, enjoying each other's company, learning from one another, and just having a better time playing what I've heard to refer to as a silly train game. But yes, it is a silly train game on the surface, but it can be as much as you want it to be, and that's one of the nice things about games in general. Um, Another thing, Rail Nation, designed by Travian, is Travian is a company. They want profits, and they spend money to make a program and to sell that program to us, the audience, the players. And this particular game focuses on microtransactions. And so, wherever possible, it is trying to entice you to say, hey, spend some money on us. You'll get these advantages in the game, and you'll have more fun. And there are some cases where that is definitely true. There are other cases that you can maintain your fun. And again, fun is self. I'm losing the word, but anyway, you determine what is fun for you. and only you can do that. Don't let anyone else tell you what fun should be. And so, the company, by saying, if you can only have fun in this game by buying these things. And let's just use the Plus account. The Plus account is relatively cheap to run it throughout the round. Doesn't cost a whole lot of money, or at least in my perspective, in other lower income places around the world. And this is very much an international game. You know, even a Plus account can be prohibitively expensive for people in certain economic circumstances. That's just a reality. But for me personally, it's not. So that's something that I always have running. And, I apologize because these videos are kind of built on the assumption of people running Plus accounts. And again, I know that that's not always the case. And I will try and be mindful of that and kind of adjusting my advice to be for all ranges of economics. And I'll get a little bit into that a little bit later. But back to my point, even with the Plus account, the it has a whole range of what I call comfort of life, quality of life improvements to the game. You can build two buildings at the same time. You automatically get a bonus video instead of 50%. You get faster research rate. You get daily 5% of your total revenue. Get an extra 5%. Your bank capacity is doubled. There are a whole host. You can make schedules. You can, say, copy those schedules across your entire fleet. Um, Launching competitions. Timing competitions. It's very, very painful to do. To get the perfect timing to be coming into the town with that load of goods when the competition starts. It's very hard to do without a Plus account. It's relatively easy to do with a Plus account. And again, just quality of life types of things, saving schedules, loading schedules, whole host of issues or circumstances from what I consider a relatively small investment into the game. Now, outside of that, there is more and more and more, and some of the pricing on this stuff is ridiculous. I think it's like $25, maybe $30 to buy a single bonus engine for that 1 week, 2 week period. And you have 6 eras and 6 bonus trains from that. And if you have passenger trains in your particular scenario, there are 12 bonus trains. And so spending 30, $40 or whatever it is on that train just to get it straight from the go, I mean, that's way out of my price range. And so the hole is as deep as you're willing to go. And there are people that are willing to go that deep. There are people that have financial means to spend a whole lot of money in this game, and they do so. And you know what? As much as those people are hard to deal with inside the game, they are more so than I am. The reason why we have the game in the first place. Without Travian making profits, they are not going to continuously support the game. Even the game that exists in and of its at its current state. But Travian over the years that I've been playing have continued to develop new ideas, new scenarios, new circumstances. Evolving the game, adding in new mechanics and modules and what have you. And none of that would be possible unless they had revenue coming in to pay the people, their employees, and whatever to sit down, make those choices, and to actually code them and evolve. Since I've been playing this game, it started off as a browser game, and now it's an app game. used to be dependent on Flash. Well, Flash is gone now, so they're now on HTML5. So you know the industry is constantly evolving, and so the games, if they're going to live in the new evolution, then they have to spend money in order to make sure that it can migrate into that new system. And those whales or those wallet warriors, they are the ones that produce. They are more responsible for that progression in the game than certainly I am. And so, as much as, like I said, they're kind of hard to deal with in the game, but I appreciate their presence nevertheless, because it means that I'm able to continue to enjoy the game to the degree that I enjoy it. And I do enjoy this game a lot. So, there is that aspect. But, so, like I'm saying, there's a range that you can spend on the game, and only you can decide what is appropriate for you. And, you know, I've made a second account, and I've purposely not advanced that account. So it's remaining as a career one, and I'll kind of explain career engines and career points in another video. But this is the very basic account, and I purposely did not spend any gold on this account for a couple of rounds, and so I was playing as just a base player, and I kind of wanted to understand that point of view. You know, what can an account accomplish if it does not have a career engine, if it does not have a plus account running? And I kind of wanted to know that experience so I can better understand all walks of life that I do encounter in this game. And, that's something I'll talk about next. But so, I do have some of that experience. And so hopefully I'm able to speak to a wider range of an audience because of that. But that is to say, some of the things that you'll see here is basically off of my main account. But, I do have some sense of what it means to be a bare bones account. And I guess the original point is you can have fun without spending a dime on this game. It is possible. Just recently, they've changed the rules on they've capped the number of ads that you can watch or number of videos you can watch in a day to something like 56 or something. And to a regular player, that's they're not going to watch 56 videos during a day. My particular play style centered around that particular mechanic. um, I could I have the ability to play on my phone while I'm at work, and so a video would last 30 seconds. There's basically a 30-second counter on the app, and I just have the phone sitting off to the side, and every 30 seconds I just look over and click a couple buttons, and it would advance to the next video. And throughout the entire day, while me doing my thing and kind of off to the side have this game running, I could watch up to 400 videos a day. And there are people that were watching even more videos. But they've dramatically limited, or at least in my eyes, the number of videos that can be watched in a day. And to a lot of people, that doesn't make any difference. But to people like me, and basically the high video watchers, I call those ad warriors. And the purpose of all that was you watch the first video and you give a bonus to the member in your corporation, that is your buddy, your teammate. You're giving them a little advantage the next time their restaurant, shopping center, or hotel, their timer runs out. But if you're running a plus account, you automatically get a bonus video available to you. If you don't have a plus account, there's a 50% chance you have a bonus video. And the bonus video, once you get done watching it, it will give the player watching those videos a small bonus. And for like at the very start of the game, the bonus is, the main bonus that you'll get is $1,000 in game, and sometimes you'll get an engine voucher. There's gonna be a wagon voucher, and for me, and what I was trying to say in the starter kit videos, is always spend those on the $15,000 wagons for boards or cows, and save the $5,000 wagons to purchase within the game. Save your money from that. And so sometimes there's free lotto tickets. Sometimes there are discounts on lotto tickets because you can buy lotto tickets with gold, which is purchased with real money. And I personally don't do the discounted prices, but a ticket could be, you know, 50,000. But as the game progresses throughout the round, the prizes will get greater. In Era 2, instead of getting a single wagon voucher, you'll get two wagon vouchers. In Era 3, you get three. And so there's a progression that goes throughout the round on those bonuses. And so those bonuses are always kind of minor, but if you do the quantity that I was doing, that can be a big chunk that you're adding into the economy of your account and the economy of what you're able to haul and accomplish with whatever goals your group is working towards. So that was one of the ways that I was spending my time to get those advantages so I can do more for our team. And as I've said in another video, I kind of see players having three core qualities to them, and how those core get multiplied when you get into an association or a corporation. You can combine those, and you can have advantages from just being a team. You can have shared resources and what have you, and so that helps out the individuals. But the corporation itself is the sum of its players, so it's reciprocal in the strength of each side. But from an individual player, from you, the viewer, how much time you spend in the game, how much money you spend in the game, those are completely your choices, and every choice is fine. You can find that enjoyment in the game, no matter how. I mean, you can log in twice a day and be a part of the group and to help out in the group goals, and get rewarded for that time. And that's very minimal in gaming terms. Again, you can spend zero money in this game. It will be a rough road, but if you know that, then you know you can kind of make it as smooth as possible. But still, it's going to be very challenging as compared to spending just a little bit for the Plus account or just a little bit more for this thing or that thing. But again, that's the trap that the company wants you to fall into, and you don't necessarily have to fall into it. So you can spend zero, or you can spend $1,000 a month, on this game. It is possible and probable in some cases that I've seen. But how much money one puts into the game does affect how much they are able to do in that game. There are limits, as there are limits in time. Um, but so those are two, and the third one is knowledge. Now, if you're taking the time to go onto YouTube and to discover this channel, or however you came here, if you're watching these videos, you are seeking knowledge, and or at least I hope you are, and I hope you get some. Um, but that right there, how much energy you are willing to know the game, to become better at the game, that goes into the third piece. And for me, I kind of evaluate players on those three and the sum of those three, and to say you're using a scale, I have a 8 on time, I have a 3 on money, and I have a 5 on knowledge. That's a 16 overall. But someone else could be a 10 on money or a 0 on money. And just, each player has their kind of own stats. And again, have fun in this game to put as much into it as you is appropriate for you in your life, and be comfortable with that. Don't be tempted into spending more time into the game if it's unhealthy for you in your life. Don't spend more money into this game if it's unhealthy for you in your life. And knowledge, maybe too much knowledge is a bad thing. Certainly, some people have that opinion about me. But again, have fun. Don't go too far. But the more you can put into it time wise, the more you can put into it money wise, the more you can put into it learning the game, the better the result is, the more quality of player you are. And it is a competitive game at the end of the day. Now, one of the things that was happening in the discussion about the limitation of the videos, and it's like, for me, an ad warrior is dead. There are no more ad warriors. You cannot accumulate a huge amount of bonuses to compete with what has always been called the wallet warriors, and those are people who can spend money in the game. And a lot of the complaints in the discussion video about the limitation of videos, or excuse me, the discussion forums post, is that Rail Nation is a pay to win game. And I disagree with that because of another, what I consider brilliant design philosophy of this game, is there are so many ways in which an individual can consider themselves a winner. And pay to win only applies to that one account. It doesn't apply to you. So they aren't taking away your win if you decide to pursue a win in a different category than what they're going for. And so that's where I don't think the Rail Nation is a pay to win game. Now, if you are paying a lot, don't get me wrong, you're getting a lot of bonuses and they are hard to compete against. But if you're not competing for the same goal that they are, then that money doesn't mean anything. And so be competitive in whatever avenue, whatever section of the game that you can compete in and compete in successfully. And hopefully, with that success, you get enjoyment. And again, that's the whole point of the game. So I don't consider Rail Nation a pay to win. Certainly, if you want to be top player, and there are advantages for your career engine and all that stuff, and notoriety with career rankings or the number of stars you have on your account, just different things like that. Spending money gives you massive advantages in competing in top player and top corp, which again is just accumulation of up to 26 different players. So if you have more money in those 26 players than another corporation, then that corporation is going to have advantage over the second. So yeah, the Wallet Warriors are going to have a much easier time getting top player and top corp. But those are just two aspects of the game. Those are two competitions in the game, and there's so many more. And I really appreciate that about Rail Nation, because by spending zero money in the game, you can find something that is interesting to you, and you can pursue, be successful at, have fun. So there is that aspect. Let's see, where do I want to go from here? Yeah, maybe I'll just wrap it up right there. But have fun in the game. Spend as much time as you can in the game, but don't let it be unhealthy. Spend as much money as you can in the game, but don't let it be unhealthy. And try and get some knowledge and learn the game, learn how it works. Again, knowledge is not only the mechanics of the game, but it's also kind of dealing with the emotions because it is a multiplayer game, and just kind of navigating and kind of understanding why people do the things that they do. Um, it matters for this game and can impact everyone's fun. So this particular series is going to be kind of going through little aspects of the game and how they work mechanically and how they work emotionally. And maybe together we can kind of find a way to bridge that gap and to have fun with this game. So I look forward to talking about all these different subjects, and hopefully um, we'll we'll have a nice discussion and build the community from this channel and learn from each other. So until then, take care, and I'm your host, Jay Budushal, signing off. Have a wonderful day, everyone.